Imagine waking up in the middle of the night, your heart racing, your mind tangled in the remnants of a dream where they appear again. Someone you swore you had moved on from, someone you no longer love, at least not consciously. Yet here they are, haunting the quiet corners of your subconscious, slipping into your dreams uninvited. Why? If you've truly let go, why does your mind refuse to forget? Think about it. How many times have you convinced yourself you were over them, only to find their ghost lingering in your thoughts when your guard is down? How often have you buried the past only for it to resurface when you least expect it? Today, we embark on an exploration of one of the most unsettling truths about the human heart. The idea that love, or its echoes, doesn't simply vanish because we decide it should. But what does it mean to truly let go? Is it merely about deleting their number, avoiding their memories, or is there a deeper, more invisible process at play? Stay with me, because as we unravel the hidden workings of emotional attachment, you will come to see why some connections never fully dissolve and how you can finally break free. The final realization we will discuss is the most liberating of all. It has the power to silence the past and reclaim your present. Carl Jung once said, "Nothing is truly forgotten until it is first understood." He believed that the unconscious mind clings to unresolved emotions, preserving them like unfinished stories waiting for an ending. Unlike the conscious mind, which can rationalize and suppress, the unconscious operates in symbols, dreams, and fleeting impulses, whispering what we refuse to acknowledge aloud. But here's the reality. Most people never confront these whispers. They dismiss the dreams as random, the lingering sadness as weakness, the nostalgia as a fleeting lapse in judgment. They tell themselves they've moved on, yet beneath the surface, the emotional residue remains. They date new people, chase new distractions, and plaster over the old wounds with fresh experiences, yet deep down, there's a quiet unrest, a question that never quite fades. Why can't I forget? Jung believed that true emotional freedom begins when we stop running from these questions. But before we can talk about how to release the past, we must first understand what binds us to it. From the moment a connection forms, whether fleeting or profound, it leaves an imprint, not just in your memory, but in your nervous system. The laughter, the touch, the shared silence. These moments carve neural pathways, conditioning your body to respond to their absence like a phantom limb. And then there's the shadow of the relationship, the unspoken words, the unresolved fights, the unanswered what-ifs. These aren't just thoughts. They're psychological open loops, and your mind hates open loops. It will replay them, rewrite them, and recycle them until you either face them or bury them so deeply they emerge in dreams. Think back to the last time you dreamed of them. Was it an argument left unfinished? A moment of tenderness you never fully allowed yourself to feel? Or perhaps it was the version of them or of you that existed before things fractured? Jung called these dream figures archetypes, mirrors of our unresolved emotions. They're not really about them. They're about you. The parts of you that still hunger for closure, for validation, for the chance to rewrite the ending. And here's where it gets even more profound. The more you resist these dreams, the louder they become. The more you insist, "I'm over it," the more your unconscious screams, "Then why won't you look at it?" But what if I told you that these dreams aren't your enemy? That the lingering presence of someone you no longer love isn't a sign of weakness, but a roadmap to your own healing. Jung's great insight was this: what we resist persists. The emotions you refuse to acknowledge don't disappear. They fester. They shape your reactions to new relationships, your triggers, your fears of abandonment or betrayal. They become the invisible script of your emotional life. But when you dare to face them, when you sit with the discomfort of the dreams, the memories, the unanswered questions, you reclaim the power they've held over you. This is where the real journey begins. Are you ready to confront the truth of why they still haunt you? To break free from the emotional limbo you've been trapped in? Because what comes next will challenge everything you thought you knew about letting go. And it will open the door to a future where the past no longer owns you. Most people believe that time erases everything. They wait for the day they'll wake up and simply not care anymore. But time doesn't heal wounds. Awareness does. Time is passive. Healing is active. Think about it. How many years have you spent waiting for the feelings to fade, only to find them bubbling up in moments of vulnerability? How many times have you scolded yourself for still thinking about them, as if emotions follow a schedule? Carl Jung warned against this illusion. He believed that the unconscious mind operates outside of time, that a pain buried 10 years ago is as fresh as yesterday if it's never been faced. Let's take a moment to reflect. Have you ever noticed how a certain scent, a song, or a place can catapult you back into a memory you thought was long dead? This isn't coincidence. It's proof that the past isn't past. It's alive in your nervous system, waiting for a trigger. And here's the uncomfortable truth. If you don't consciously process these emotions, they will choose how you show up in your present. Ever found yourself overreacting to a small slight from a new partner? Or feeling inexplicably drawn to someone who resembles them? That's not chance. That's your unconscious pulling the strings. Jung called this phenomenon projection. When you haven't fully released someone, you unknowingly project their traits onto others. You might punish a new lover for the sins of the old, or you might seek in others what you lost in them, hoping on some level to rewrite history. But no one can replace what wasn't resolved. No new relationship can silence the old one until you've given it a proper burial. And this is where most people get stuck. They either numb the pain with work, with distractions, with new romances, or they romanticize it, keeping mementos, replaying old conversations, feeding the nostalgia. Both approaches fail. Numbing delays the inevitable. Romanticizing chains you to a ghost. But there's another way. Jung's solution was integration. Not forgetting, but understanding. Not erasing the memory, but draining its emotional charge. Here's how it works. The next time you dream of them, don't shrug it off. Don't shame yourself for it. Instead, ask, what is this trying to show me? Is there a lesson you avoided? A truth you didn't want to admit? A part of yourself you abandoned in that relationship? Dreams are messengers. They're not about them. They're about you. The unresolved anger, the unspoken love, the guilt, the regret. These aren't flaws. They're signposts pointing you toward the parts of your heart that still need tending. And here's the most liberating realization. When you stop fighting the dreams, they lose their power. When you stop pretending you don't care, you finally start to. This isn't about rekindling old flames. It's about reclaiming the pieces of yourself you left behind in them. Because the love you think you still have for them, it's not love, it's unfinished business. And the moment you face it, you'll wonder why you ever feared letting go. But this is just the beginning. The final piece of this puzzle is the most transformative of all, because the key to forgetting someone isn't in pushing them away, but in understanding why they stayed. What you're about to discover next will shift not just how you see the past, but how you step into the future.